Is your past affecting your present day decisions? Hey guys, welcome back to another Mind Right Monday. I'm your host, Bonnie Kelly. This is the star of the show, Bella, and the handsome old man, Trooper. They've decided that instead of being quiet, that they had to be the stars of the show this week on this Mind Right Monday. So today we're talking about, is your past affecting your present day decisions? And this happens to be one of my favorite topics. So this is where we are talking about how the past starts to affect the brain and how the brain starts to build these neural pathways that build these habits, and these habits start playing out in our actions, reactions, and for my procrastinators, inactions. You see, your past, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, is affecting your present day decisions to some degree. Now let me explain how. See, your past, when we have these experiences and your brain is developing, these experiences start to shape and mold how we perceive and how we believe and how we interpret and understand our outside world. Well, if you've had any kind of hardship in your past, like most of us have, well then sometimes those past decisions or those past experiences can create what we call a virus of the mind. And that virus can start to affect Bella. Could you just lay down? Welcome back. So now that the dogs have decided to vacate the couch, we'll get back on topic. So we're talking about how these past experiences, what they do is they start to shape our beliefs and our understanding of the world. And honestly, we don't have a lot of control over that. This is just how the brain is beginning to develop and how it's beginning to perceive and articulate the world and creating interpretations of what it is that you're experiencing. Well, a lot of these belief systems go left unchallenged and unchanged for the majority of our adult lives. And so this is how they can start to be affecting our present day decisions. Let me give an example. If you grew up and maybe your dad wasn't present and you have some abandonment issues or you don't trust men, well, as an adult now dating new people, you might be struggling to trust your new partners or stay in long-term relationships because of that past experience of losing your father. That past experience is directly impacting and affecting your modern day decisions. Here's another one. Maybe your parents had a very scarcity mindset when it came to money and financing. Well, as a result, you grew up in a household where you were said, who are we? The Rockefellers? Money doesn't grow on trees. And as an adult now, you might have money blocks because you don't think that there's enough or you don't live in an abundant world. So now your past is affecting your present day ability to make decisions and manifest. So these are just a few small, subtle examples. So you need to stop right now, pause for a moment, and ask yourself, what is hindering me in my present day life? What insecurity or limiting belief is blocking me? And how does that relate or connect to my history, to my past? So now we can start to make a direct connection with what was to what is, so we can have a better understanding of why or how you're being affected today. All right, but you know that this video is not just about the what's going on. I'm going to tell you about how to start moving through it. So let's dive into my first tip, which is acknowledge your past for what it is. You know, a lot of times we get lost in the story, especially if we've had hardship in our past. Maybe we came from an abusive home or a neglectful home of some sort, or even just a dysfunctional family to some degree. And what happens is that we tend to not want to acknowledge that. We really want to either hide from it, ignore it, pretend it didn't happen, or completely deny that it's affecting our present day decision, that we're more evolved or that we've done better. But you have to recognize that to some degree, that still impacts and affects you. And when we can acknowledge it versus hiding from it or ignoring it, it's going to give you it's going to equip you better to be able to overcome and remove the patterning more permanently. Now, let me put a disclaimer in here. When I say more permanently, it doesn't mean absolutes. Now, I've recovered from a lot of my dysfunctional history. However, I still get triggered from time to time. There's still things that are really going to fire me up or get under my skin. However, now the difference is I can quickly identify it. I know exactly where it comes from, and I can navigate through it before it becomes a reaction. Now, before, that wasn't so much the case. So you have to acknowledge, though, that even in the present day, no matter how evolved, no matter how much work you've done, that still some of that stuff is going to show up from time to time. But as soon as we can acknowledge it, connect it, we can move through and overcome it. All right, this leads me to my next one, which is recognize that hindsight glasses only work in the present moment. I love this because I can't tell you how many of my clients and how many people that I talk to are always walking around with their hindsight glasses. Oh, I should have did this, I should have said that, or I could have done more, or I should have known better. We hold on to this idea that now with the information we have today, we could have somehow magically used it then. Well, you don't know what you don't know. And the reality is, you didn't have that information, or you weren't equipped, or you didn't have the support, or you didn't have the tools or the resources available then that you do now. So we want to be mindful of removing our hindsight glasses to get out of this state of mind that you could have or should have done better in the past. This is really moving into a state of what I call acceptance. Accepting that you're human and flawed and that you make mistakes. And though now you would have done different, acted different, responded different, it can't change what was. And so we want to remove those hindsight glasses, start to acknowledge what might have caused that, have a deeper understanding around it, so we can then move forward in our lives. All right, this leads me to my next one, which is choose to learn and grow. All right, one of the best ways to kind of sever that tie between our past and the decisions that we make today is to constantly be focused on how can I learn from this and how can I grow from this. Two of my absolute favorite questions to ask myself when it comes to making mistakes, when it comes to failing, when it comes to screwing up, when it comes to anything that creates disruption in my life, is asking myself, all right, what can I learn from this and how can I grow from this? So when you find yourself making a decision that might be influenced by your past or your history or the old story or the old hurts and pains, is to really get into that state of mind of how can I grow today? How can I evolve? How can I use this new information to be a better version of myself? One of my favorite quotes that I heard actually years ago on the radio, it says, each day in all ways, I am better than I used to be. And as long as you're focused on learning and growing, using your current mistakes, your current failures, your current hurts and hardships as opportunities versus weapons, then you are going to constantly being a better, more refined, and gorgeous version of yourself as you continue to walk this beautiful journey we call life. All right, this leads me to my last and final tip for today, which is step into gratitude. Gratitude is one of my favorite mindsets to adopt. There's that saying, attitude of gratitude. And honestly, there's no better way to begin to continue to move forward in your personal development life and journey than adopting this mindset. And that too includes having these past mistakes, having gratitude for the lessons that you learned or are learning or could learn from these past hurts. Now, before we move any further, here's a disclaimer. I totally understand that, it is such a struggle to find peace or to have gratitude for past tragedies. I was a victim of child molestation and abuse. So having that past, Bonnie, how would you be grateful for that? And it's not that I'm grateful for what it was done to me as a child. Rather, I can step into a place and say, I'm really grateful for this sense of loyalty and for the resiliency that I've adopted now today as a result of that. So when you're moving into gratitude, you really want to recognize that you can be grateful for almost anything if you choose to find some silver lining in all that has been done. And though there's some hardships in this world that I would never wish upon any soul, is that really recognize maybe how strong or how fearless or how resilient that situation has made you, and be grateful for that. Not grateful for what happened, but grateful for who you are, or grateful that you're still alive, or grateful that you have these new opportunities, or that you have this new awareness or insight that you may not have had before. And when we can focus on that attitude of gratitude, it really can help us begin to sever the tie between that what has been done and really start to move into this state and place where we can be more consciously aware of how to create the life that we desire versus allowing the past to define us. We begin to use the past to refine us into a better, stronger version of us. Okay, hopefully this video has helped. As always, it was brought to you from a viewer just like you. If you have a personal development question, email us at getinspired@bonniekelly.me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We love, love, love making new friends, and it's the best way that you can friend us today. All right, till next week, I'm Bonnie Kelly. Did you enjoy this week's video? I sure hope so. As always, I have an amazing gift just for you. If you're ready to start moving and grooving on your personal development journey, then you absolutely have to check out our 21-day emotional detox. Right now, you can snag 7 days for free. No credit card required. You get access to the entire program for 7 solid days for free. These are 21 days worth of exercises, tools that are going to help you get out of your way and on with your life. Until next time, I'm Bonnie Kelly.